We live in a technological age, and the growing heap of electronic waste that we produce across the globe is a source of great concern. So, what happens to e-waste in South Africa?
This pile of toxic e-waste lies in the middle of Pretoria North, right next to a busy road and about 50 meters from the RP's river.
Kijk hierso, hier wordt definitief plastic gesmeld en gebrand.
We found a place like this for how long?
It's about 5 years ago.
5 years ago?
Yeah.
Authorities are unsure who dumped it here and when, but judging by the state of corrosion, it has been here for a couple of years. Leaching batteries and evidence of burning and cherry picking to extract the copper and other metals. In short, an environmental disaster. But this is what happens when the laws and implementation systems are not in place. And the new waste management regulations that will be announced in 2007 will go along with the dumping of such e-waste. Even more specific measures are desperately needed to make sure the millions of tons of electronic scrap that we generate every month are properly disposed of. Across the world, people are starting to take the issue of e-waste seriously, and treaties like the Basel Convention, which restricts the movement of e-waste across international borders, is a good start. Unfortunately, there are ways around it, and more North America and Europe are sending their electronic scrap to Africa as donations. But here in South Africa, we have more than enough e-waste of our own, without having to deal with donations from the north. In fact, it is estimated that we generate around 50,000 tons a year. The bulk of this is, of course, corporate IT equipment, mining, industrial and communications electronics.
The big problem behind it, people don't realize it's toxic. And because if you've got your cell phone in your pocket, there's nothing wrong with it. Once it starts the recovery process or the leaching process on a landfill, there's mercury, lead, arsenic, boron, beryllium, all the heavy metals, which are highly toxic. Now, people say, well, it's small quantities, but the volumes of e-waste is vast volumes. So what you're getting on a monitor, there's 2 kilograms of lead. So if you scrap a couple of thousand monitors, there's 2,000 kilograms of lead that you immediately burying somewhere.
The good news is that 95% of all e-waste can be recycled.
We buy scrap from anybody and we process it and then we sell a raw material to refineries or smelters.
We have a handful of e-waste recyclers, and a fair amount of our e-waste does get recycled to some degree, primarily to extract the precious metals though.
Yeah, well, you're looking at about 120, 150 grams per ton of gold in printed circuit boards. That's the amount.
Precious metal recovery is dying because technology is changing. They're not using as much gold, silver, platinum, palladium. So pretty soon, no one's going to want that to pay for it at all because there is no money. So someone's got to pay to get rid of it.
This is where the ITA, the Information Technology Association of South Africa, comes in. They are a non-profit organization representing the major players in the IT world, and they are looking to revolutionize e-waste recycling in South Africa.
Yes, at the end of the day, to get this process in place, it will cost money somewhere. So there has to be levies according to the process. And one of the levies would be that the manufacturers would add a small levy onto the price of the component, which would then be paid across to the recyclers or to the collection agents, who would then dispose of it in a responsible manner. Everybody makes a small contribution, but everybody has a huge significant benefit from an environmental perspective.
The levy will also go towards finding solutions for recycling problems such as the leaded glass in the cathode ray tube of television sets and PC monitors. Computers and electronic equipment are already an integral part of our lives. In fact, the very TV set you're watching right now will also one day be e-scrap, and it is our responsibility as humankind to address this issue today, before we bury ourselves under tons of toxic electronic waste.
China focused on industrialization and ignored environmental impacts. Their health problems and their environmental problems are costing them 12% of their GDP at the moment. So it's a very short-sighted view to say, well, let's get rid of it, because it's going to come back very soon and cause problems for the country and everyone else.
The first step is, of course, creating awareness, and the ITA is planning a roadshow this year. For more information on e-waste recycling, contact the IT Association or check out our website.